guys, welcome back to the channel. And as you can see, Graham has returned with his Ultramarines. He's been playing around with his list and hopefully he's going to wreck some face today. The Ultramarines have heard that the Mechanicum have been playing around with artificial intelligence on this abandoned manufactorum, and of course in true Ultramarine style have landed on the planet to bring the Dominus in for questioning for his heretical ways. It seems, however, that the power source of all the experiments is this generator in the center of the table. So now that the generator has been kindly returned by Phil, let's have a quick word from our sponsors.
Coke for Phil.
Today's mission is cleanse and control. We've got objective marker 1, number 2, number 3 on the outskirts at this side, number 6 is just here, number 5 in the center of the ruins, and number 4 down here next to the Aegis defense line. So as it stands, the Ultramarines are going first. Let's have a quick look at the armies. Right, so as I said, Graham has had a look at his lists and he's revamped it a little bit. So we've got a 10-man tactical squad, 5 of them here with missile launcher taking cover in the ruins, and he's going to keep them on objective 3. He's got a unit of bikes here to snatch anything that they see fit. And the other 5 Marines with a melter gun and sergeant with power sword and plasma pistol in here in the Rhino. We've got 5 more Marines from the other tactical squad with a heavy bolter. We've got the Sakaran with las cannons. We've got a Land Raider Crusader in the middle here. The Crusader has inside of it a chaplain in Terminator armor, 3 Hammernators and 2 claws, and that's going to be charging up the field, taking the center. That objective, the generator in the middle, is worth D3 victory points at the end of the game. Meanwhile, in these ruins here, we've got the remaining 5-man tactical squad, sergeant with plasma pistol and power sword, and a grav gun in there as well. We've got the Ironclad with the twin-linked heavy flamer, ready to take on anything that threatens this side. But the Warlord is Tigerius, hiding in the ruins there with the Centurions. Graham apologises about the Centurions. He meant to pick up his Devastators with a grav. Unfortunately, he's picked up his Assault Marines, but they are running with, of course, grav cannons, grav amps, and the sergeant has an Omni Specs. So let's have a quick look at the Mechanicum force. So with Tigerius looking across the battlefield, his psychic powers were perfect timing for Borden and Scryer's gaze, as well, of course, Prescience, and he got to re-roll any failed psychic test. We've got a unit of Rangers with an Omni Specs, and we've got 2 arc rifles in there. The Alpha's got a couple of tasty treats. We've got the Castellan robots with heavy phosphor blasters and carapace phosphors. We've got the Infiltrators with a taser gourd on the Princeps. We've got 2 separate units of Onagers with neutron lasers and 2 heavy stubbers apiece. And of course, we've got this lovely Aegis defense line. We've measured it. It is the same size as the normal one. This one is supplied by System of Gaming, and what can I say? It looks fantastic. On this flank, we've got the 2 Dragoons with Phosphorus Serpenters, and of course the Lancers. We've got the Breachers with arc rifles, and down in the middle we've got Rust Stalkers with the Cord Claw, and the Princeps has the Mask of Omniscience on there as well. Meanwhile, at this side, we've got the Dominus hiding under the ruins, and we've got the Grav Destroyers on there. The Dominus is the Warlord, and we've got a unit of 10 Vanguard with 3 Plasma, Omni Specs, and the Alpha's got a couple of nice tasty upgrades on there as well. Right, so Ultramarines turn 1. Graham has drew for the Emperor, make a charge. It's probably not going to happen. He does have Scryer's gaze though, so he might end up changing that in the psychic phase. He's drew Assassinate, kill a character. I do have a lot of characters, but they are considerably hidden. And he's drew Secure Objective 5, which is in the centre. So Graham's playing smart. He's leaving the Centurions down out of the way because he knows that even if he moves to the top, he's not within range of fire. and he doesn't want them exposed for me to shoot at them. So the Land Raider is pushed forward. It is going to score objective 5, which is under there. Graham thought about getting the Terminators out, but he wants me to go through that armor 14 before I get to the fleshy insides. The Rhino here is pushed forward. He's hoping Scryer's Gears may get him objective 2, so he can push round onto that. But other than that, everything is staying where they are, and Sakaran is going to look to hopefully take out that Onager through the crates. So in the psychic phase, Graham got Scryer's Gears off and unfortunately did peril, but luckily passed his leadership test, so no damage done to Tigerius. And he drew secure objective 4 instead of making a charge. So Tigerius managed to get off prescience onto the Sakaran, and as a result the Sakaran managed to blow part of the Dune Crawler apart. It's now immobilized. One of those pens got through from the las cannons, and despite getting 3 pens from the accelerator auto cannon, we managed to save every single one of them. It was the missile launcher from the lowly tactical marine back here, could just see through and managed to get another glance on him. So Graham not quite scoring first blood there. Down in the centre, the assault cannon using power of the machine spirit managed to kill 2 infiltrators, double them out thanks to strength 6, toughness 3, and failing 2 of 3 cover saves. Graham almost getting assassinated there as well. So at the end of turn 1, Graham does score secure objective 5. Right, so mechanic on turn 1 we drew destroy, record, rejoice. I need to kill an enemy vehicle and a non-vehicle if possible. Secure objective 3 is with this marine with a missile launcher, so I'm not going to be able to get to that. And we've drew reclaim lost knowledge, take back an objective, so I've got to get rid of the Land Raider to get that. Right, doctrines and canticles, I've used +1 ballistic skill, and I've used Shroud Psalm to grant me Shrouded. Right, so the Rangers have started hurtling across the battlefield, looking at the Land Raider, seeing if we can potentially get some shots in on it. There shouldn't be any cover from this angle, so hopefully we can bring it down by a whole point or 2. Ready for the Castellans and the infiltrators to shoot in. We've even got the Onager pulled sideways to hopefully get a shot in. Yeah. Yes, we all know Phil has crabs. Yeah, so the infiltrators are moving up, hopefully get a charge in on the Terminators if we can get rid of the Land Raider. The Rust Stalkers and the Dragoons starting to move forward into the centre lines to hopefully take out anything that is going to contest the centre. This Onager immobilised. I'll probably aim for the Sakaran, or maybe across at the Marines over in the building over that side. The breaches can just about see some of the Land Raider there, so Graham's going to have a very good cover save from these guys, but we can also see the Sakaran there as well. And the destroyers can see that Rhino. Hopefully we can wreck that Rhino and stop Graham's mobility on this flank, but he has got the bikers at the back there. Unfortunately they are out of range. The Vanguard only got a poor move through cover, so they're not going to be able to move up to start and eat away and grab me objective 3 yet. Right, so the Rangers at this side with the 2 arc rifles and the transonic arquebus got a single hull point off that Land Raider thanks to the Scryer skull, allowing me to re-roll armor pens off the Dominus. The Onager even shot down. Graham passed his cover save, and the arc rifles from this side getting 3 glances and Graham failing 2. So the Land Raider is down to 1 hull point with nothing else to shoot at it. Meanwhile, the Onager that's immobilised shot across at the Sakaran and failed to do anything despite having that neutron laser on there. Meanwhile, down here, despite getting an insane number of hits on that Rhino, not a single 6 was rolled, so it's not even immobilised. I needed 2 to wreck it, but never mind. So I don't score any points at all. I think I'm going to discard objective marker number 3.
Dark Angels ahead.
Right, so Ultramarine turn 2. Graham still has Assassinate. He's drew objective 4 again, and he's got overwhelming firepower, and his Storm Talon is on. So back here in the back lines, the Ultramarines are just hanging back the tactical squads, supporting the bike squad. The bike squad waiting for the opportune moment to strike. Graham's leaving everything where it is, hopefully starting whittle the Mechanicum down as they head across these lines. But in the centre, The Rhinos moved into the centre of the ruins, and the tactical squad of getting out, looking to hopefully take down those Dragoons. He doesn't want the Dragoons anywhere near the Sakaran, and he's trying to block the charge lanes, forcing me to go around it a bit further. Meanwhile, in the centre, the Land Raider didn't immobilise itself, thankfully. The Terminators have leapt out and they're going for the Castellans because Graham has a bit of a plan. If you can take the Castellans out and fire from Power of the Machine Spirit on the Land Raider, can take out some of these guys, and the Storm Talon he can drive me off Objective 4. The Grav are also within range as well, but that Assault Cannon is staring down at them Infiltrators. So can he kill the Infiltrators for overwhelming firepower and assassinate? We'll have to see. But the Centurions have jumped up, and like I said, some of them can just about see the Rangers, and they're just in range. Unfortunately, he can't quite make range on that one Castellan that he can see. So let's move into the sighting and shooting phase and see if the Ultramarines can start and drive the Mechanicum from this planet. What a devastating turn for the Ultramarines. Graham shooting the Grav Centurions down at the Rangers. He couldn't see the guys on this side, which meant that he managed to annihilate 4 of them in the centre there. Fire from the Storm Talon unfortunately did nothing. We did elect to go to ground, so we did make a couple of cover saves thanks to that defence line there. Grim did try and get off perfect timing in the psychic phase, but luckily for me, I managed to actually stop it. He prescienced up the Sakaran, and despite again getting 3 hull points of damage on the Onager, didn't go through. It was actually the Missile Marine that did the job, scoring Graham first blood and overwhelming firepower. The Marines in the centre tried to take out the Dragoons, but unfortunately, despite getting hits, failed to do any damage at all. Meanwhile, the Land Raider annihilated the Infiltrators that were there. That Assault Cannon doubling out the Princeps, and the remaining Infiltrator, after the rain of fire from the Storm Bolters, took down one of the others. So we've got a nice charge coming in here, I think. Graham is probably, if he can kill them, getting onto Objective 4. I forgot to mention at the start of the turn, Graham did use the Assault Doctrine. He wants to make sure that these guys go down. He is going for blood. What on earth is going on? Graham's Ultramarines are storming back in force. The Chaplain here led the guys in, charged at the Castellans. No wounds done to Overwatch. The Chaplain alone got 1 wound through the Castellan, and the Lightning Claws, 8 attacks, re-rolling because of Zealot, re-rolling because of Shred, and Graham rolled 4 6s, and I failed me feel no pains. The Hammers then came hurtling in and smashed the guys into the ground. And these guys have consolidated onto Objective 4, and unfortunately, that Ranger Alpha is just outside of 3 inches, which means Graham does score Objective 4. He scores overwhelming firepower for killing the Onager and the Infiltrators, but doesn't quite get 3 characters. He does score Assassinate, obviously, but didn't quite get the 3. So that's 3 more points for Graham, putting him on 5 to my 0. Right, so I've still got Destroy, Record, Rejoice, and Reclaim Lost Knowledge. I'm hoping to take the Land Raider out, and this will score me the points that I need in order to do that. And I've drew Secure Objective 5, which is actually the one that I need to take back. So it's a case of, do I shoot at the Grav Centurions, or do I try and take out some of the Terminators with that neutron laser? I don't know. But across this side, we've moved these guys to hopefully take out that Land Raider. Meanwhile, in the centre, the Rust Stalkers will hopefully take out these 5 Marines, and the Dragoons will hopefully take out that Rhino there. That'll hopefully get me a vehicle unit and a non-vehicle unit, and hopefully the Land Raider as well. Across this flank, we've moved the Destroyers forward and the Vanguard. The Destroyers will hopefully be able to purge the Ultramarines from here, and we can take back the Manufactorum for our experiments. So it appears as though the Dominus is fearing for his life. Despite using the Scry Skull on the Land Raider, and these guys getting 3 hits and 3 glances, Graham passed all of his cover saves. Unfortunately, the front armour not entirely visible to those guys, and I made a mistake. I shot the Phosphorus Serpenters from the Dragoons at the Rhino before firing them arc rifles. What I should have done was then charge the Dragoons at the Land Raider. I only needed that one single hull point. That's going to deny me objective 5, and it's going to deny me taking back an objective that Graham holds, unless I can take those Marines out with the Rust Stalkers there. This neutron laser took aim up at the Centurions, and as you can see, during the sunlight must have been blinding, but got a lucky hit and managed to take out one of the Grav Centurions up there. Meanwhile, across here, the Grav Destroyers and the Dominus managed to kill 2 of the tactical Marines, and they bust morale and ran. They don't like those Grav rounds coming in at all. So, not a great round of shooting from the Mechanicum at all, but hopefully the Rust Stalkers and the Dragoons can take back the centre of the table. Right, so in the assault phase, as expected, we did unfortunately lose a single Rust Stalker going into the assault. However, the Rust Stalkers, as expected, chopped that tactical squad up, and the Dragoons made mincemeat of the Rhino there. So we do score destroy, record, rejoice as we killed a vehicle and an enemy unit. We do score reclaim lost knowledge as we took that one back from the Ultramarines. Unfortunately, I don't score objective 5, which was here. So I get D3 plus 1 victory points. Let's have a look. So I'm on 2 victory points to Graham's 5 at the end of turn 2. So Ultramarine turn 3, Graham has drew Honour Your Chapter, kill an enemy character in a challenge. He's drew Kingslayer and secure objective 6. Objective 6 is going to be hard for him to get to, but he's also elected to use the tactical doctrine as well. Right, so Graham's come up with a cunning plan. The tactical Marines have jumped out of the Rhino and are going to look to eat into some of these ranges, and then the chaplain is going to charge, providing there's enough left, and take out that alpha in the assault phase. The Hammonators you see there are going to go after that Dune Crawler and see if they can take it out. And what happened here? Oh no, the Land Raiders driver managed to get caught up on the Aegis defense line that was in the middle there, and unfortunately has wrecked that. Meanwhile, across this way, the bikes have leapt into action, as have these tactical Marines, looking to hopefully take out the Rust Stalkers in the centre. And Graham is going to be shooting the las cannon straight down there at that Dominus, seeing if he can take him out with a lucky shot from them las cannons. Wow, what a turn of firepower from the Ultramarines this time. These guys here managed to get Ignore's cover off in the psychic phase, perfect timing on Tigerius, and managed to wreck and destroy this front Dragoon. So there's only the rear Dragoon left. Down here, fire from the chaplain and the Ultramarine tactical squad managed to bring down 2 of the Rangers. They passed the morale, but the sergeant blew himself up with his plasma pistol as he took aim. Despite tactical doctrines being in effect, I think Graham's going to burn that dice roll on 3 1s in a row. Meanwhile, in the centre, all of these tactical Marines and the bikers unloaded into the Rust Stalkers and only killed 1 of them. Down here, the Sakaran aimed straight across at the Dominus, and one of the accelerated autocannon shots made it through the Dominus armour, but we managed to look out, sir, one of the las cannon shots onto a destroyer, passing the cover save. These Marines jumped back up into cover and shot down, killing 1 of the Vanguard. The last thing to go is the Storm Talon hurtling across the sky, trying to take out these breaches here before the Terminators charge in. So Graham, do you want to do that one on camera? So the assault cannon at the breaches. Twin linked, yep. Wounding on 3s. 6s rend. So that is 3 wounds, and we've got 3 up armor save. And that kills a breacher. You've got a last cannon to go. And that's a hit. And that's a wound. The next one, however, is in ruins, so 4+. And he's fine, so that, at least that's a breacher. However, that is a morale check that is needed. And that's fine. So, 1 breacher down, 2 to go. And I think he's going to be charging that onager. What on earth is going on? Graham is absolutely storming through the lines of the Mechanicum, purging the heresy out of them. The chaplain went hurtling in, 4 attacks, got 4 hits, 4 wounds thanks to Zealot as well, and absolutely smashed the Rangers into the ground. So that does score him in your honour. And over here, we managed to kill one of the Lightning Claw Terminators to Overwatch on the Dune Crawler. Killed another one as Graham rolled a 1 with a single wound I got through. But as expected, the Hammernator's made mincemeat of that one, exploding it as well. So not a bad round of combat at all. Right, so I've drew overwhelming firepower, secure objective 3, and I've still got secure objective 5. Now that that Land Raider's gone, do I send the Dragoon to score that, or do I send the Dragoon to kill the Sakaran? I don't know. For Canticles and Doctrines, I have used Benediction of the Omniscient again. I'm now only going to get to re-roll 1s in the shooting phase, which isn't too shabby. And I've elected to use my Doctrines at +1 weapon skill, because I'm going to use my Ruststoppers to hopefully take out those bikes. So there's not too much left at all. The Breaches are going to stay where they are in the hopes of doing some damage to that Sakaran over there. But the Dragoon is going to score me objective 5 on this flank. The Ruststalkers have jumped out and leapt into action, and we're going to look to hopefully take out these bikers here. The Dominus and the Grab Breaches, or Destroyers rather, do I send them after the bikes, or do I try and take out that Sakaran? I really don't know, but the Vanguard are just far enough upfield to be able to score objective 3, providing I can get rid of the 3 Marines in that building. So hopefully we can do something productive. The shooting phase for the Mechanicum went as well as could probably be expected. These 2 Breaches managed to get a single penetrating hit through on the Sakaran, and it is now snap firing. Meanwhile, these guys here took aim at the tactical squad. I didn't know whether to go for them or the Terminators down here. The Terminators have got a long slog to get to us, and I figure I've got 1 more turn of shooting before I have to divert firepower to them. So that's why I went for the tactical squad to minimise the damage output on Graham's side. I could have gone for the Sakaran and probably wrecked it, but I thought with the snap firing, it's not going to be so bad. Meanwhile, down here, the Vanguard managed to take out those 3 Marines down there. So the only thing left to do is combats down here of charging these guys in at those Marines. Wow, what a turn of events there in the centre. The 3 Ruststalkers charged in and ran straight through the bikers in there. The Heavy Bolter Marine took fire last turn from the Grab and ran behind the ruins there as well. So, as it turns out, these guys score me objective 3. He scores me objective 5. And I get overwhelming firepower from killing the Marines in that ruin there. Unfortunately, not quite enough to bring me on par with Graham. That puts me at 5 points to his 6. Let's move into Ultramarines, turn 4. Right, so Graham has Big Game Hunter Killer Vehicle. There's 1 Dragoon left. He's got Kingslayer and Secure Objective 6. So the Tactical Marines have jumped into the Rhino and are heading across that way for Line Breaker. Meanwhile, the Terminators are making a sweep back, potentially for this objective in the middle. The Sakaran and the Dreadnought making their way that way. And the only other thing is the Storm Talon is coming to lay some firepower down on these destroyers here. That assault cannon is going to be doing a lot of damage. If he does enough, it can probably drop down to hover mode in his next turn to score objective 6 back there as well. We really need to start thinking about pushing back into the centre of the board though. In the sighting phase, Tigerius got off perfect timing on these 2 grab scents, looking to take down that Dragoon. So in the shooting phase, Graham managed to immobilise the Dragoon here with the grab scent. And the only other damage that was done across the entire force was the Storm Talon managed to take out 3 wounds altogether on the destroyers there. One of them obviously was dropped a wound from last time. So that was it. Graham is going to keep hold of his entire card selection in the hopes that he can score them in turn 5. So wow, I have drawn a game-changing hand here with Drew Supremacy and Ascendancy, and I can do it. And I've also got score objective marker 6. Right, I've elected to +2 to my weapon skill in case Graham decides to charge. And this Dragoon is going to score me objective 5. These guys have already moved and ran the Rust Stalkers. They're going to score me their objective in there. So yeah, not so good. These guys have already shot through at the Sakaran and failed to do anything despite the Scryer Skull from here. The Vanguard have moved forward. They're going to score me objective 3 at that side still. And I elected to shoot up at the Storm Talon. Graham was aware there's an Omnispecs in there, and despite 9 shots at strength 7, I got 1 hit. Graham didn't jink, and I rolled a 3. It's front armor 11, so I didn't do anything to that. So it's a case of where do I fire the Dominus and this Destroyer? Do I kill that Sakaran? Because between the Sakaran and the Storm Talon, I reckon he can take us out. Graham's going to have to drop the Storm Talon to hover mode to score objective 6, but he's not jinking, so he's going to be doing a lot of firepower into that unit there. But the Sakaran is there as well. I really don't know what to do. Do I shoot the Destroyer over at the Sakaran and try and immobilize it, or do some damage, or do I try and kill the Terminators? The Terminators are a threat, but Graham just needs to roll a single 6 on that immobilized Dragoon from the Centurions back there to wreck it. Really thinking about end game here as well. I don't know. So I went for the Sakaran. I got 1 hit out of 6 shots and failed to do anything. So at the end of my turn, I score Ascendancy and Supremacy and objective 6. I'm currently on, I'm on 5, I'm on 4. 5, 6 to the Ultramarines at the minute, but I've got 2d3 plus 1. So it's 6, 6. Oh, never. Double 1. So that puts me at 8 points to Graham's 6. And he's got Kingslayer and objective 6 and Big Game Hunter going into his turn. And of course, he's quite easily within reach for Linebreaker. So let's see what happens in Ultramarines turn 5. So it looks as though the Dominus's nerve is now starting to shake. And the Ultramarines, despite taking heavy casualties, are pushing the Mechanicum back, and they're getting ready to take the Dominus in. High Command stating, slay the Warlord, bring him in. So the Storm Talon has dropped to hover mode. Hopefully it's going to get Graham objective 6, and potentially between the Storm Talon and the Sakaran back there, get him Kingslayer and slay the Warlord. The Terminators are pushed into the centre, as is the Chaplain, and the Grav Centurions on the ruins at the back there, getting perfect timing off. All they need is a single 6 on that Dragoon in there. Right, so in the shooting phase, Graham managed to kill and destroy the Dragoon here thanks to perfect timing on them Grav Centurions. Meanwhile, across here, the Storm Talon took out the Destroyer, and the Sakaran brought the Dominus down. So that scores Graham Big Game Hunter and Slay the Warlord and Kingslayer. So Graham D3 for Kingslayer, D3 points for 1. That gives him 3, which puts him now at 9 to my 8. Of course, the Storm Talon in hover mode drops Graham down to 10 points. It's going to be difficult to make a comeback from this. Graham's also getting Linebreaker as well, and he's still got the assault phase to go. He's got these Terminators. Is he going to charge them at the Rust Stalkers? Right, so I've drew Psychological Warfare, secure objective 6, and secure objective 4. Objective 4 I'm not going to get. 6 the Vanguard are going to have to go for. Psychological Warfare is going to be very difficult to get. Right, so shooting phase, the Vanguard with a Plasma managed to take down the Storm Talon here, and as a result, these 2 arc rifles on the breaches shot in at the Dreadnought. Unfortunately, despite getting 2 glances, Graham passed both cover saves. The Rust Stalkers hurled in and managed to bring down 2 Terminators thanks to Transonic. Only hope is that we can kill them if Graham goes next. I was hoping to kill him outright, but Graham passed a lot of those 3-up saves despite me getting a lot of 6s, and even got 6s with Cord Claws, but Graham managed to save. So I score 1 victory point to secure objective 6. Unfortunately, that was tied combat, so no psychological warfare. He did 2 wounds to me, killing one of the Rust Stalkers outright, and I did 2 back. So, as it stands, the score, including line breaker for Graham, is 11 to my 9. I'm on 9 points despite having 3 rolls of a D3 and scoring 1 point every turn. So, Graham, do we go on to turn 6 on a 3+? No. Ultramarines victory. So let's have a quick look around the board. So with that, the Ultramarines drag the carcass of the Dominus off this planet and absolutely wreck face. There's hardly any Mechanicum left at all. We've got 2 breaches and a handful of Vanguard. I think a big game changer for me was when I drew that hand with Ascendancy and Supremacy and rolled 2/2 for the D3. Graham, I like the list that you put together. It's a lot more competitive. What did you think of the game?
It was a tough game. The list did make it a bit different for me to play. I don't normally play lists like this, but over and all, I'm quite happy at the list.
No problem. I mean, the Grav Sense alone, they did a lot of work. The Terminators, shoving them up the middle of the board, doing a lot of the damage as well. The Tactical Marines keeping them back. They certainly use the firepower, especially when you use that tactical doctrine.
Yep.
And the sheer weight of dice from the bolters alone was brutal. I think
Plus,
that
I don't normally combat squad me tactical squads, but I think they've done very well.
No, I think they did very well indeed, keeping the heavy ones back and pushing the front ones forward. I mean, them ones are still alive, running away for line breaker.
Yeah.
But Graham, it's been an absolute pleasure having the Ultramarines back on the channel. It was a really, really tough game indeed. Thank you very much for being back, and hopefully we will. Thanks, Phil.
No, please, no.
But yeah, Graham, hopefully the Ultramarines will be back as well as your new army, hopefully soon.
They will, yes. Hopefully you're getting the new army up and running, and we'll get that on the channel as well.
So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please check out the other battle reports on the channel. Today's game was not filmed by Phil. And yeah, today's game was filmed at Games of War. Please check them out and see them. If you're into any form of miniature or card games, they offer a discount and open quite late on a night and such as well. Please check them out, and I'll post a link in the description. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.